All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to Sterling Shire Homestead. So, whew, careful, buddy. Just giving you the update of our trees that we planted a while ago. This one's doing really good. We got an oak that's very solid. We're gonna check over here. Fonz is just going crazy because we never go for walks in the field, and so he's tugging left and right, trying to go after cars. That's why we got him on a short leash right now. The only other trees we planted over this way are two, and hopefully they're still good. I don't know, this one's getting a little bit beat up. I'm hoping it makes it. It's like something was through here and dug underneath it. And then there's supposed to be another one right here. This one's not doing very good either. But it's certainly something. So hopefully that one keeps growing too. All right, Fonz, let's go. Oh, buddy. Let's go back up the road. Anyway, I'll walk over here. I'll show you the other ones. Give me a little bit. Okay, we caught up to where we were. This one is just impressive. Like, that's doing really well. This other one is also really nice, doing very well. You can see the green shoots already on that one. Fonz. It's another good one here I can see coming up. This is a good sign. A lot of nice growth. That means that the roots are finally getting down to where they need to be. I think we're going to have a very good year for those three trees in particular. Let's check out this one. This one's also doing pretty good. It's got some growth on it. This is another one here. It's doing all right. It's a little behind the other ones, but that's okay. And I'm pretty sure the rest of these are on the opposite side of the fence. I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain. Yeah. So this one is here. It's getting there. It's not the most amazing, but it's doing well. At least it's getting somewhere. We'll walk the fence line here. I'll have to reach over and show you the rest of them. This one is doing stellar. Good things going on there. This one is doing also very well. You can see some of our other little ones. They're kind of scattered, and so finding them is sometimes a pain in the butt. Let's keep going, Fonz. He sees something in the bushes. He's trying to force his way over. I think it's a squirrel. Anyway, here's another one that's doing pretty well. I like that. Oh, Fonz. And I don't know where we ended here. I know we don't have a whole lot past where I just went. The only other thing that's left is the other oak tree, and that one you can pretty clearly see. That red leaving spot. So it's certainly coming along. I had hoped it'd be a little further along by now, but it's not bad. And now that we're back on the driveway, we can let Fonz move around a little more. I was worried about him. He likes chasing cars, which is something we got to break right away. So, well, walk him next to the road in the next few weeks and get him to look at me when he sees a car. That'll help. Right, Fonz? Fonzie. Fonzie. That's a good boy, thank you. Anyway, we're going to go up to the house, do some paintage, do some cabinet stuff. Well, not cabinet. What is it called? Countertop stuff. We'll see you back here in a few. It's somewhere up there. Okay, welcome back to Sterling Shire Homestead, everybody. I might have said that once in this video already, but We're in the process now. We bought all of our butcher block countertops. This is what we're using. Birch hardwood from Menards. So one of the things that we really needed to make sure we were okay with was, or knew that was good, was the wood itself. And Menards has a lot of these in stock. And so we've got chunks of it that we could pre-examine because they're only covered in this like layer of plastic. So you can go through and see, okay, is there at least one good side? And there is, and every one we found. There's at least one good side that we can face up to eventually put the actual butcher block itself onto. And so in this case, this works out. What we'll end up doing is overhanging this just enough. We've got about a 3/4 inch overhang here. We measured it with our trim pieces. So let's pull this out. That's why it was out. We measured it with our trim piece. So that's about 3/4 inch out. And then what we'll end up doing is we'll take another piece of trim to cover up the probably a 1/4 inch gap on the back side as a backsplash. Probably not in white. We'll probably use some scrap or offcuts. Like we can absolutely take offcuts from this and mill a couple pieces that are, it doesn't even have to be very deep, 1.5 inches or whatever we want, and get a backsplash on it if we eventually want to do that. So that's the scoop there. And then I think as far as that goes, we're doing okay. There's some issues with leveling that we had to take care of. This cabinet to the other little cabinet is level here, but in the back it's a little low, and because my dad and I didn't exactly shim it all the way up, but it's an easy fix because what you do is you take little shims, and these are the same exact ones we were using for the door stuff. Like I got the bucket full. Thanks Grandpa for cutting those for us. And we'll put shims on it, and then we should be good, and we can attach it underneath through all the different faces that are facing up. So when it's finally set, it'll lock everything in, and then these faces will meet and they'll look nice. So the next step of the process here is we've got to cut this piece. So what I did was I took a pencil and I scribed the line, because we set this right on top, and then I took the pencil and I physically went against the edge of the counter, or not the counter. Yeah, I went right on the countertop underneath, and I actually physically touched the edge of the cabinet and matched it up to make the line. That's why the line is so straight, but it's also freehand. So you can see there's 3 different lines here based on what angle I've got. So I traced it a few times to get the right one. And then now that we've got that, we know exactly how far we got to go. And so one of the other things we were looking at, so you see here, we got a bit of a weird edge. It's like they tapered it already for us. We don't want that. And thankfully that works out okay, because where the oven sits, we've got to cut off probably, I don't know, 3-4-ish inches. You can kind of see, because I marked where that cabinet ends right here, about 3-4-ish inches we're cutting off this way. So we'll take the table saw and we'll run the table saw this way, and we'll get pretty close to this line that I made, but not quite all the way. We'll overhang it just a tad. And then after we cut it table saw wise, then we'll come back and we'll take the jigsaw and we'll cut along these grooves. What I am going to do though is stay on this side of my outer line, because if something happens to be wrong or not quite right, I can always come back and I can sand it to make it flat or even or look nice again. So that's why we went with an extra 3/4 inch overhang. We only need about a 1/2 inch, so we're giving ourselves a 1/4 inch here to help save ourselves in case something goes wrong when we're cutting this bigger piece. This is the only major cut we have to do, is this chunk to match this profile here. If we can get that, we're good to go, because that's an easy cut. It's a 6-foot length, and we've got an 8-foot piece of cabinet. It's easy just to cut 2 feet off. And then this one is really easy. You just plop it down and lock it in, and we're not really cutting anything else. So hopefully that goes well. We'll cut this. I'll come back to you. We'll see how it goes. I'll do some test cuts before I get into it here. Okay, partway in. We're at the point now where I'm going to have somebody hold this side, because if we get too far here, I don't want it to crack off and lose our safety net. The other thing we're doing is we're collecting the sawdust. So when we do that joint where they meet, we can throw some wood glue and sawdust together and make it look like the original piece. So we're gonna stick it in this bin and then continue to cut here. I'll show you the final product when we're all said and done and how it goes. Anyway, we'll come back. Well, I'm happy I had somebody hold it. It didn't break off at the end, but it got close, and you can see where it did. If the camera will focus for me, you can see that spot that it didn't actually cut through that last little bit. My worry is it was going to do that all the way back here. I mean, it is birch wood, so it's stronger, but I was worried. As far as staying on the line goes, whew, sawdust sneeze. We didn't do too bad. Here I took the line. When I got here, I thought better of it, and so I kept the line. And this is the short side that probably should have a little bit more on. Here we had enough room to kind of fudge a little bit because you can see kind of how the lines went. So all I'm going to do is come back, clean up this little bit of a corner. We'll round some of the edges off with the sander, and then we should be able to flip this back into position and potentially even lock it down tonight. We'll see how that goes. First things first though, I'm going to clean this up. All right, so we did okay for ourselves. Got everything sanded really, really nice. You can't even tell it was cut. Actually so good so on this side that you can't even tell anything was done to it. A bit of a snafu with the corner. You saw it in the previous clip where I had that little jut out. Didn't need it because the place that I had marked was where these meet up. And so this is sitting a little high now, but when it gets screwed down to the cabinet, they'll sit flat and they'll be flush. And then what we got here is a tiny little gap that will take our wood shavings here that we made when we cut that piece. We'll mix it with some food safe wood glue, which does exist, and we'll pack the joint, and then we'll come back with a fine sander and you won't even be able to tell. And then the only thing we'll have left to do is put a backsplash on it and we should be good to go. So successful cut, successful set. What we'll do, like I said, we'll just take a 3/4 inch backsplash piece, set it up there, and you won't even know anything was awry. That can sit all the way across, just like that. And you won't even be able to tell that anything was ever missing. So we'll do that all the way down and all the way over until it meets the oven, and we should be good to go. And we'll probably actually, I can't imagine us using something else. We might actually use our baseboard trim for this because it matches the wall, and we can paint it an accent color if we really want because it's already primed white. But that's the look. And this piece that's hanging off, I'm not worried about. What'll happen is we'll slide the dishwasher underneath this. After the flooring is in, we'll slide the dishwasher in, and then we'll either find a bracket. I think the best thing to do is actually just find a bracket and screw it in here so it sits into the wall. So that's the last little bit of stuff we have going on here. So that's all I've got for today. If you like what we do here at Sterling Shire Homestead, give us a like and a subscribe. Other cabinet tops next. This one, we'll cut one for this one in a bit. For now, we can't put anything on that because it's untreated, so we'll have to stain it and seal it first. So the first thing we'll do is screw it down. Eventually that sink, that one there, will go in. We'll have to make a pattern, and then we'll drill it in exactly where we want it to go, somewhere right about here. But we're getting close. So hopefully we can get that all done in the next, I don't know, 2-3 days. No, not 2-3 days. A couple weeks, I'd imagine, to get all the countertops on and screwed in. All these are screwed in. The only one we don't have screwed in is this last one here, and that one should be fairly self-explanatory. All right. So we'll see you later. Maddie's going to get some shots for the gram or whatever she posts this on. I don't know. If you like what we do, like and subscribe. Till next time, everybody. Peace out. All right, so we're up at the house. I was in the middle of painting and I took a break because this is kind of the reason why we designed this deck. All of the storms come from this way, and while it's not really windy yet, you can sit underneath the overhang of this thing and watch the storm come in. The sun is like right there, and we're at the point where there's so much clouds over it, I can almost stare at it without hurting myself. But that is a very dark storm front coming in. And thankfully, with how the wind is blowing right now, it's actually blowing across, underneath us, it's actually blowing across this way along the deck. But I'm almost positive that that storm front, because of how it's developing, eventually the wind is going to start blowing at us. But it is kind of fun to sit here and watch and see how things go. It was super clear and sunny a little while ago. We were in this like section of clouds, but all of a sudden it's starting to close in on itself. So it's very interesting to watch. If I had a slow motion time-lapse camera, I would very much just stick it in the window, like right up here in this top upper window, and you guys could see how the storm goes and how the cloud front passes and the rain starts and stops. It'd be really fun to watch. So we will come back to you here in the next cut. I'll show you what I'm doing, and basically it's just a few painting things and then some staining is probably what's going to happen tonight. So we'll catch up with you when I get a little more of that done and show you what exactly we did. I'm going to watch the storm come in for the next 20 minutes though. That's a good break. Okay, welcome back. So we just finished putting in the last couple of screws. You can see them, the one that's underneath right there and there, to lock all the countertops down. Let me get up here. I gotta use my phone to balance. And so now they are locked in place. And a couple of marks that were left by the locking mechanism on these. We'll sand all this once more with a fine sander, and we can apply our finish oil to those. But that's one less thing we got to do. What I ended up using was some premium construction screws at 1 5/8, so they're only going 1 inch in to this chunk, which means that if I ever have to sand it down 1/4 inch to like refinish it, I totally can. I think it worked out pretty good. The crack here isn't bad. It's not amazing, but it isn't bad. There's a little bit of a bump here. You probably can't even tell on camera. Oh, you can a little bit. That's maybe a 1/16 inch difference here, but that comes back on this side. You've got a 1/16 inch difference in the middle here up until it's even again on the back. So we're very, very close. I think what we'll do is we'll sand all of this, and then if I can tonight yet, I'm probably going to try and treat this with wood glue like I said I was gonna. I've got my wood glue and my wood shavings right here with my my putty knife, and what we'll do is we'll compact a bunch of that into here, and hopefully that'll work okay. We'll do that in a little batch. We'll probably do that in a little batch and use the screwdriver to put it in. And then after everything's all said and done, we'll sand this even, I think. But even as it stands, there's really not too big a difference between one to the other, which is nice. And so, like I was saying earlier, a couple of weird little things. I've got a fine grit sandpaper on this. Watch how this goes away. So it doesn't take much. A little bit of fine sandpaper, it pulls out all the stains right now. Hopefully we don't get any more on here before I have the opportunity to seal this. So a couple things I've got to figure out now. Now that we've got this counter sort of done, this is the only seam I have in the whole counter system. So what I'll do is I'll try and figure this out right now. I'll probably do some light sanding first to get this fairly even, and then I'll pack it, and then I'll come back and sand it again with some fine sandpaper, and then we should be good there. And then the next thing we're going to try and take care of today, we did all of this, the painting for these walls here, and you might not be able to tell. Oh yeah, you can. So you see how there's a line like right about here? There's a lighter white and a darker white down here. This is just primer on the top, and this is actually painted. So what we did was we came through and we painted everything that we could physically reach with our hands. So if there's ever a stain or a blemish of any kind, it's probably not going to go higher than what I can physically reach, about 7 feet high off the ground. So we did all that, and we got 3 walls worth this wall, and the other wall on the other side of the patio door here. That way we can put our trim in for these windows and finish out those windows and call it good. The only other spot we have to paint like that is this remaining wall here. It's not a big wall. We've got to wait till we get all this other stuff out and cleared. So we'll probably do that first. So those are kind of the projects today. I don't know if I'm going to get to putting a countertop on this bit. Fairly easy thing. It's like a 5-screw job, about 3 or 4 on the front, a couple in the back, and then that should be done as well. We'll see how that goes. Don't know if I'm going to get to it tonight. It all kind of depends on when Maddie's going to get up here. I suppose we'll see in a bit whenever I decide what I'm going to do next. Probably put some trim on some windows, I think. I'll do a little sanding on that joint, that butt joint is what they call it, and then put in some trim because it's all ready to go. I just got to put it on the window. Anyway, see you in a few. Okay, we're back. I took a break from doing door trim. I got this one on and most of the hallway that way. And now that the side pieces are on, I can measure for all the top sections that go across. And I don't know, just a good time to take a break, I suppose. Lots of trim left, working out okay. I'll take you for a walk here and we'll go through the steps left for the upstairs. Just some up top trim for that. I have to make some trim that goes around the edges of the closet just like we did for the windows. This one should be finished then. This one's a little bit of a cutting mess because of how I did this. This wall framed, it actually needed to, for this drywall, it needed to come out and meet here. And that drywall would have covered this edge and I could have just put trim around the whole thing. So the way I did it, I kind of messed myself up. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do here to fix the problem is get a 1x4 or some scrap 1x4s and just nail them in here. That way the trim piece comes out a little bit extra and that should take care of it. Whether or not that'll do the whole thing, I don't really know, but I'm going to have to cut down this piece to do that by a little bit. So we'll get that squared away. I got a couple of measurements up here to get that squared. Some closet things that happened. These, they're a little bit too thick. I'll have to trim them down. You can see, like, I don't need that extra 1.5 inches that's sitting on the inside, so I have to cut these down both. Let's see. This room is all good and done. These went okay. I did notice that I made a mistake on the height of this one. So I'm debating on whether or not I should just like pull off a one from the inside of this and just hover the other one up a little bit. I'm kind of thinking I might do that because I don't want to recut it. But that's where we're at. So trim is getting done slowly but surely. And hopefully we'll be able to finish that all up tonight. I'm at the point where I'm starting to run out of staples. I've only got 2 more little sleeve things worth. So hopefully we'll be good there. I will get back to you when I get a little more of this done. Hopefully I can figure out this little closet that's in here. I'll see you back here in a bit. Okay, welcome back. So this is the stuff you guys don't see. Like, I'm cutting all the boards for the tops of the doors now. And some of the other spots for the closets that we didn't get to. So this is all stuff that we have to paint now. Not that that's a lot. That's actually a tiny little bit compared to what we've been doing. And at this point, we're actually starting to run out of, you know how we had that huge stack of 1x4 sitting there? Pretty much all gone. We're probably going to have to go get another 10-ish is what I'm thinking. Now, hopefully that's all it is that we'll have to get. But what you do is you just write the list down on a scrap piece and you go through and you check it all off till it's all done. Over here, we put glue in this seam. We got this all screwed down yesterday. And look at how nice that looks. All you do is pack it with glue and then sand it off. And now it's completely smooth. Thank you, Maddie, for helping take care of that. A couple other little nicks that we'll take care of, but otherwise it's looking pretty nice. So we'll get that all squared away. And then this countertop should be good to go. The next step is to, like I said, cut a hole for the sink. And we've got the sink. I didn't check to see if it leaks or anything yet, but hopefully it doesn't. And we'll be able to just install everything and be good to go. So that's what we got going right now. Hopefully I'll come back to you and get a little more done. Either countertops or some more trim stuff. See you in a bit. All right, welcome back. So we took care of the post support for the staircase because we're having a company come to do the staircase in carpet soon. Maddie helped me get everything set. Got the level on there. We're definitely in the bubble. We did it this way too, so it should be level that way. And all we did here was take some pre-treated exterior grade power lag screws, 6 inches. We stuck 2 on the bottom, and that runs through the post itself, which we pre-drilled. That way we wouldn't split the post out because the posts we want to stay pretty. So the post we pre-drilled, we went 1 on the bottom, 1 here, and it's long enough that it goes through the front plate, the 3/4 inch floor plate, and then it also goes through the 2x4 behind it. So it's going through a good 2 inches of wood, if not 3. And then same here, we're going through the 2x4 here on the stairs that holds this all up. Now the code in Wisconsin where we live says that this top piece here has to support 200 pounds laterally. Pushing to and from or pushing this way to and from. So let's see. Matt, you can use the post to stand up. This is the first time we've tested it. She pulled. Yeah, that's plenty. Don't break it. So we're doing just fine. This is an excellent way to do this. All this is a, what is it? A pine 4x4 that we cut. And it is a critical structural pine 4x4 from Menards that we cut. We treated it with the same stuff that we treated our window things with. And now the only thing we have left to do is take some boards and go from here over to there and lock it in to this piece. So we're going to cut those now, hopefully treat those tonight, and then get this all squared away in, I think, what will be the next video for you guys. So just wanted to show you how we did that. And I'll actually give you the underground tour here. What we'll do here, I'm going to grab 1 more 5-inch lag, which I believe I have. Yep. They're still sitting on the counter. So I'm going to grab a 5-inch one, and we're going to put that in through the bottom too to help hold it down to the ground instead of just worrying or relying on the sideways friction of this. So we'll get this one, we'll put it in. I already pre-drilled the hole for that, so it should be pretty easy. What am I doing? I gotta go in here. Fonz likes to join me usually. Let's turn that on. And we're probably gonna be able to see the lags. Oh, you can't even see the lags coming out of here. They would have come out right through here based on where we put them, but they're so, that's insane. I thought that they'd come through. It looks like this one might have started to poke through. You can see a little bit of a dot right here, but you really can't tell a whole lot. So what we're doing now is we're going to get 1 more in through the bottom, and you can see the hole already pre-drilled. So all we're doing is putting that in, and then this should be a done deal. So I'll preset that. Hopefully it doesn't wreck the floor. It shouldn't, but that's all we're going to do. So we'll put this in. See how this goes with 1 hand. Ready? Done and done. So we're locked in every possible way we could be locked in. So that's all we got for this one. Unless this is a short video, I mean, I'm not really know where I'm at. I haven't edited videos in a long time. So hopefully I've got other coverage for you. If not, you'll have some bonus content when this is done. But that's how you put in a stair post. At least that's how we put in a stair post. You don't have to do it that way. They have a lot of different ways to do the exact same thing that we just did, but that's a good way to secure it because according to where we live, the code says that you're allowed to come out 4 inches from the edge of the staircase width, and we're only, I don't know, 3. And our railing will actually go from here, from this piece, because we know we've got a stud there. It'll go right up and we'll attach it right onto this. So that'll work out great. Anyway, see you in the next one, everybody. From Fonzie, Maddie, and I, peace out.